Hi, I'm Jamie Davidoff, founder and owner of Spark Success. I'm really passionate about helping leaders and organizations harness the passion of people to create organizational success. That creates a win-win for individuals and the organization. As a leadership coach and organizational culture consultant, I'd like to share tips with you through these videos, and today's topic is on influence. Many of my clients are looking to increase their influence so they can get their ideas heard and implemented within their organization. And this topic of influence is so important because we could have the best idea in the world, but if we don't have our influencing skills, then it's very difficult to even bring them to the table. And when we do have those skills, it's much more likely that our ideas may be implemented in a beneficial way. So I want to break this down into a number of components and share with you how this is not one skill. I think there's a confusion around that. I think people think influencing is a skill, when in fact it is many skills that can be learned over time and can be learned in a step-by-step manner. So there's 6 points that I want to make here. First is to really remember that our ideas are heard when we have built trust and rapport with people. What I mean by this is that we build genuine relationships on an ongoing basis with people. And that could be with our clients and also with people in the organization, direct reports, peers, leaders at various levels of the organization. When people know us, they are much more likely to hear and absorb and be curious about our ideas. So that's the first thing. The next is to think about how you can contribute to others' ideas and support them and help them put it in whatever their ideas into action. I say this not to set an expectation that if you contribute, others will help you with your idea, but they're going to be in a position to want to more likely contribute to the implementation and acceptance of your idea. The next thing is to really know yourself. This is the third point. Before you even share an idea, so, we've talked about what you can be doing on an ongoing basis, but now this is the point where we want to share an idea that we really know ourselves first and what's important about that idea to us. So what's influencing this idea? What are we passionate about? How does it impact us and our team and the organization? And then once you're clear on what that is for yourself, then think about what impact could this have on the people that are involved? What can I do to answer those questions before they even come up? And then thirdly, really understand what might trigger you in sharing your idea. If you're not used to sharing your ideas, that can be a very vulnerable thing to do. So getting clear on what might trigger you when you're sharing your idea, whether it's one-on-one initially with somebody or in a group, it's important to understand, for example, somebody might really throw you a hard question about your idea. Some people, when they're not used to sharing ideas, might take this defensively. They might feel like they're being criticized, when really often people just need to know more information and they're curious. They might be criticizing it, but that criticism provides you more information. And if you can come in from that stance, you're not as likely to take it personally. And then also, if you know what could trigger you, you can figure out ideas about how to handle that in the moment. Next is to be really clear. Before you bring this to the table, be very, very clear. What is this idea about? How is it going to impact the organization? How is it going to impact the people? What are the benefits? What are some of the concerns? There's always some sort of concern with a new idea, even if it's just a matter that it's going to create change. So being able to think that through ahead of time and provide some sense of how that could be resolved. And then provide evidence for why this idea will work. So do your research. And then fifthly, really take a consultative approach. I really encourage people to go in not as the expert around this idea, but really having done the research, but then being open to other people's questions, ideas. Those questions, ideas can make your idea even stronger, which requires you to be flexible with your idea. So when we come in and we think we've thought it through and we have the best path forward, it doesn't leave room for others. And if those others don't have room, they're not going to likely accept your idea. So this is really about consulting with them, sharing your idea, asking what they think, really listening and asking questions of them and being curious so that you can garner more information to really make your idea something that's very worthwhile to everybody involved. And the other thing, the sixth thing then, is that when we present our ideas, sometimes people need time to process the idea. And so it's good to have a follow-up meeting or meetings to be able to really ask people, you know, since our last meeting, what's come up for you around this project? What questions do you have? Is there any you have? Because some people process on the spot and some people need time to process. That's just human nature. People have different ways of processing. So what I'm also saying then is to give it time. Don't expect that it's going to be accepted as is on the spot. That is unrealistic. If it does, fantastic. If not, you know, you've got some of these skills to be thinking about building to be able to handle that and to really make this very successful. So I'm always very curious. I'd love to hear how you create influence. What has worked for you? What hasn't? What might you try experimenting with based on what I've just shared? I would love to hear. Either comment on this video or please reach out to me. I offer complimentary 30-minute calls, mini coaching sessions about coaching related topics, in this case influence, but it could be another topic you're curious about in building your leadership. I'd love to hear from you. My email is jamie@sparksuccess.com. That's JAMIE@sparksuccess.com. I hope this has given you some positive food for thought.